$4,997, $4,998, $4,999, $5,000. Hi everyone, I'm Richa. I don't know about you, but I find money fascinating. Money isn't just the pieces of paper and coins we use to buy things at the store. Physical money, which is called currency, merely represents the value people and countries assign them. Money can also be numbers entered into a payment app on your phone, or a spreadsheet on a computer, or funds recorded digitally in your account at a bank. There are lots of different types of jobs related to making, spending, investing, and managing money. Today we're in Kansas City to meet one of the most in-demand jobs in America, an accountant. Let's go. I'd like everyone to meet Allison, an accountant and the owner of AM CPA. Allison, thanks for letting us visit you today. I can't wait to learn more and find out where you keep everyone's money.
Hi everyone! Richa, I'm so glad you're here today because accounting is one of the most misunderstood professions out there. I'm excited to tell you more about what we do here at AM CPA. The first thing I'm going to tell you is there's no money here, in its physical form at least.
I'm excited to learn more about what accountants do. Can you explain your job for me?
Accountants can work at large companies or organizations, keeping track of the flow of money, or they can work at an accounting firm like I do. Our clients don't need a full-time accountant to manage their records, so each of our accountants handles the needs of many different people or companies. A certified public accountant is an accountant who has a more specialized knowledge and offers a broader scope of services than an accountant. So all CPAs are accountants, but not all accountants are CPAs. To earn my CPA designation, I had to take a rigorous test.
Well, that explains that. Check.
Being an accountant is kind of like being a detective.
How so?
Accountants help people keep track of their money, including how much they've earned, saved, spent, or borrowed. While this can often require just straightforward addition and subtraction, sometimes these numbers get mixed up or people make mistakes, and it's our job to figure out the mystery and get the money to add up the right way.
Cool, what else do you do?
We give business owners advice as they decide whether they can do things like buy new companies, new equipment, or even buildings. We also put together special reports to help them fully understand how much or how little money they have.
That makes sense. So I know my parents visit with their accountant each spring, and I think it has something to do with taxes. Can you explain what taxes are and why they seem to be a bad thing?
Sure, but to start off, no, taxes are not a bad thing. Taxes are essentially the fees the government assesses to all people and all companies every year to pay their part in funding the operations of the activities of the government at the city, county, state, and national level. Taxes provide us with services that make our country great to live in, like roads, schools, libraries, police and fire protection, as well as important things all Americans benefit from, like military protection and national parks. Those are all good things, right?
Yes, they are. So it's your job to figure out how much each client must pay in order to make the government run?
Precisely. Accountants keep up on the changes to the IRS tax code, which are all complex rules that determine how much every person and every company owes. We apply those codes to each of our clients' individual financial situations. People don't have to hire an accountant to figure out their personal taxes. But many people don't want to do it themselves, or they get money from many different sources, and that makes the process more involved. So instead, they hire a professional to make sure they don't pay too much or too little. That's where accountants can be a big help.
So I have an online artisan jewelry business, and this year I've been pretty successful. I've made about $10,000. Could you help me figure out how much taxes I owe to the government?
Let's do it, but instead of using a computer like I would normally do, let's just look at the simple concepts on my whiteboard. Sound like a plan?
I think that's a great idea.
Follow me.
Allison taught me the basics of figuring the taxes for my business. She had me calculate different categories of expenses to figure out my net income, which is also my taxable income. We put it in tax software to determine the federal taxes I owe.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 10,000 and we are going to subtract all of these numbers to get to your net income.
Okay.
How good at math are you? Do you know what your net income is?
I do.
Okay.
5,690.
That is amazing. So we have determined that your net income is $5,690. As I said earlier, that is also your taxable income. So you're ready to find out what you owe in taxes?
Yep.
Okay, so I took all of this information and I entered it into our tax software and it came up with your federal tax owed. Do you want to take a guess at what it is? Do you think it's above or below $500?
I think it's above $500.
You are correct. It is $804.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Yes. So make sure to set at least $804 aside so that you can pay those federal taxes.
Okay. All right, well, next tax season, I know who to call. Thank you. Allison, thank you so much for helping me better understand not only what taxes are, but how they work and what you do. Accounting is much more real to me now, and I totally get that there aren't a bunch of piggy banks stuffed in the corners here. The money you work with is all numbers on a computer, which is probably much safer.
Yeah, these days not much currency makes its way to our office. And with our watchdog Moon here, we feel pretty safe when she's around.
How did you become an accountant in the first place? Were you always into math, even as a kid?
Actually, when I graduated high school here in the city, I thought I was going to go into communications.
Maybe that's why you were so good at explaining what you do.
Maybe. I went to Oklahoma State University as a college freshman majoring in communications field called public relations. One of my requirements was an accounting class, which I thought was weird, but I went with it. To my surprise, I did really well in the class. At the end of my first year, I decided to switch colleges. I learned that Kansas State University had a really good accounting program, so I transferred to K-State for my sophomore year. In fact, I loved K-State in the accounting program so much, I signed up for the 5-year Master of Accountancy program, which allowed me to finish my bachelor's degree and master's degree in 5 intense years, which prepared me to sit for my CPA exam.
Which is that really tough test we talked about earlier.
Precisely. So after I passed the CPA exam, I found that I love working in the nonprofit world more than a large company, and I felt like I was contributing to the good in the world. Then in 2019, I started working for myself in the spare room in my house. I gained clients quickly, and as soon as I was at the point I could hire other accountants to work with me, AM CPA was born. And we now have 9 team members in this lovely office in downtown Kansas City.
And the rest is history. What makes AM CPA different from other accounting firms?
That's a great question. When I opened my own accounting firm, I wanted to create a place that offers great service and is very community-minded. I wanted to create a place that people enjoy and surround myself with a team of helpful coworkers who clients like to work with. We try to be fun and relaxed here so people feel at home.
So what does the future look like for the accounting field? Are they anticipating that AI might reduce the number of accountants needed?
Not at all. Actually, the US needs more people to become accountants. It's one of the most in-demand jobs in the country right now. That means there are a lot of openings and jobs in this field will pay very well.
How can I start preparing for this career as a high school student?
There are actually a lot of ways you can start preparing for an accounting degree in middle or high school. First, make sure you enjoy all your math classes and do well in them. Make sure you learn to pay attention to detail, how to be a good communicator and show empathy for others. I work with people all the time, from my colleagues to my clients, and I have to be able to explain hard concepts to them and sometimes even give them bad news.
Like that they owe a lot of money to the government?
Exactly. And learn how important it is to make deadlines, which means developing good time management skills. A good way to do that as a student is just staying on top of your school assignments while also being busy with extracurricular activities. Speaking of which, there's a lot of business-related clubs you can get involved with in high school, like Future Business Leaders of America or DECA. Both clubs can help you gain additional skills and learn more about this industry. See if your school offers one of them.
Hey, I'm already in DECA. Check. Those are great suggestions. I just have one more question for you. What do you like best about being an accountant?
I have a couple answers for that. First, I love having a special skill that not everyone else possesses. And second, I love being able to use that skill to explain accounting in a way that others can understand.
You're very good at that, and I witnessed that firsthand.
Why, thank you.
I'd like to thank Allison here and everyone else at AM CPA for helping me better understand what it's like to be an accountant. I learned that it can be a fun way to help people and work with their money all day. To learn more about high-demand jobs in Kansas, visit HirePaths.com. Until next time, this is Richa signing off in Kansas City for Cool Careers. Have a great day. I've made about $10,000. Cha-ching, sorry.
That was awesome.
I'm excited to learn more about what accounts.
Oh yeah, can you
If she
explain?
nails it, then you can go on.
I'm not gonna nail the whole thing. Here, come. Wrong way. Mooney, come here. What do I say?